Looking to enhance the appeal and performance of your gym with state-of-the-art equipment? Look no further than the Gym Administrator. Founded by Sal Corrente, professional wrestling manager, promoter, and author of the great book Bruno Sammartino, the autobiography of wrestling's living legend, available on Amazon.com, the Gym Administrator will spot you on that final rep and assist you every step of the way from purchase through installation, whether it be strength training, cardiovascular training, or performance enhancement. The Gym Administrator works with a wide array of leading vendors and suppliers, carefully selected to meet the diverse needs of your clientele. Service the way you remember it. Contact us at 914-494-1066 or visit our website at thegymadministrator.com, as well as all social media platforms. The Gym Administrator. All your fitness needs under one roof. Scan the barcode at the bottom of the screen to get started today.
You mentioned Matsuda. Got to ask you, are the stories, accurate about Matsuda and Matsuda and how rough he was and stuff? But I really want to get to the story about Hogan. Okay, now you can correct me if you are walking into "We Love Hulk Hogan" territory when you come on this show. All right, so that's my disclaimer. But it irritates me that those who hate Hogan, the internet warriors that hate the Hulk Hogan type, the E in entertainment. Oh, he's not a wrestler. Did he or did he not pay his dues just like everybody else did back in the day? Is the Matsuda story true that he busted Hogan's leg? And did Hogan come up, and at least somewhat pay his dues compared to the way the internet haters make him out to be? Your thoughts on all of that, if you can. I'm sorry.
Sure. First off, you're talking to somebody that loves Terry like a brother. I mean, we're a phone call away. If I call right now, he's going to pick up the phone or call me right back. And he's one of my very, very closest friends. And so I'm obviously a Hulkamaniac too. And he to say that he broke in easy, those people have no freaking clue, no clue, not even a inch of a clue. I mean, he went through the whole summer before I went to college. No, actually, he went through the whole summer, right before I went to Bill Watts's territory, and he had something special about him. I used to sneak into the band when at Ruckus at the other place, this bar in Tampa, and watch him play. He had his mama's earrings on and high heels, and I mean, he was a freak. It looked fantastic. But Matsuda, Briscoe. I mean, so many other people came in and tried to not hurt Terry, but run him off almost, because that was the thing in Tampa. You try to push these guys until they leave without their clothes, basically. If they like you a little bit, they're still going to push you to your limit, to your absolute limit. And they pushed Terry, and he would not give up. He never stopped. He grinded. He did all the Hindu squats. He did all the push-ups. And I'm talking about 5 sets of 100 of each. I'm talking about getting in the ring and wrestling shoot style for 10 minutes straight. Not like MMA, no punching, but hooking and wrestling and amateur wrestling. They loved to start amateur wrestling. And then when Matsuda decided to start hooking, an amateur wrestler puts himself in the most compromised positions for a hooker, because you tight waist somebody, they're going to double wrist lock you. I mean, there's just all kinds of moves, but Terry would never give up. I mean, he's tapped, but I never saw him even come close to crying or quitting. And it was the office really that kind of drove him to leave and then come back. And that's when the ankle story happened. I left and went to Watts's territory. So then Terry had gone up to Panama and brought Eddie up there beefcake. Anyway, he came back. Um, uh, and Matsuda and him hooked up, and I don't know where it was, whether it was at the Sportatorium or at Matsuda's gym. I think it was at Matsuda's gym. Um, and you know, I guess Matsuda hurt his leg, but I've never seen Terry give up to them, and he went through hell. Out of 100 people probably that came, the 3 summers that I trained, the only 2 that made it, and some left. Danny Spivey left. Other guys left. Scott Hall. Guys couldn't take the beating. It was brutal. And shoot, yeah, he paid the price.
So, Brian, let me ask you that question. On the Dark Side of the Ring, you've been on there a few times, and they had the episode about the Graham family. And when I look at these documentaries, I call them a documentary. I try to imagine going in the mind of the wrestler. And I remember listening to you and speaking about how Graham would make you hurt people, right, to get them out. And I was thinking, I was just watching your expressions, and how did you feel about that after you think about it now as an older gentleman, and possibly destroying the dreams of a young man who wants to just be a pro wrestler and actually hurting them when they're not capable of defending themselves against someone of your level? Tell me what your feelings are about that now.
Well, I guess they're bittersweet. For one thing, I never was overly aggressive with anybody unless they insulted me personally, like Buddy Colt's son-in-law did when he hockered in my face in the ring. Then, he was a big guy, but by then I was used to my space, and he was in my space and bouncing up and down like Dusty Rhodes. And he had already Buddy told me he pushed his fiance down the stairs and broke her arm, broke his mother's arm. And the guy thought he was a total badass, wanted to match with Dusty Rhodes really bad. Wanted to match with Dusty Rhodes, thought he could kick Dusty's ass. And so he came to the Buddy brought him to the Sportatorium. Everybody was there. I don't know who told him that something, well, they used to come down a lot, but this seemed like an overkill. But Buddy knew I was pretty upset about that, and the guys bouncing up and down. And we always would start out fair, didn't kick anybody when they came in the ring or anything like that. Ask them if they want to be up or down, or they want to fight. What do you want to do? And then you would tap hands. Well, this guy was bouncing up and down, and so Matsuda said, he's the referee. He said, go, or before he said, he said, shake hands. And before that happened, the guy hockered in my face. And so then there was no handshake. And it was ugly, but I didn't do that to everybody to where, they couldn't go to work the next week. It's just that was the way it was. If I didn't do that at the time, then it was just my job, and I was enamored with my business, and I wanted to do whatever it took to be successful. And at that time, that's what it required. And I hope that those people learned to be respectful. Number one, they didn't come nicely. None of those people came very nicely and politely. They were all smart alecks that were bar brawlers, and there was never any humbleness to those guys.
Great answer, man. And I get it.
I think so. I totally